Hi everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda, and today I decided it is time to address these leggy tomato seedlings. Now when you start seedlings early or start your seeds early, you're going to run into some legginess sometimes, especially if your lighting is not good. When they can't get outside, these plants are going to continue to grow and they're going to get leggy, and that means that they're going to get tall and spindly. They have established a lot of growth, but it's really not a very healthy growth because, for one thing, the stem is not that strong to hold the plant up for it being the length that it is. So what you have to do, there's a way to fix it, is that you have to up pot it. And so that's what I'm going to start to do today. And as I was looking at the plants, I was wondering if I could save them. And I decided that, yeah, they can be saved. But I first thought that I could probably use a pot about this size. And when I stood this pot up beside the plant, I realized that if I put this plant in this pot, it's still going to be leaning over. It's going to be laying over in this pot. So I decided to use this pot to dip my potting mix and to go ahead and put the seedling in this pot. And this seems like a big pot, but after I put some soil in here and stand the plant in there, you will see that this pot is the right height for these tomato seedlings. And I'm going to put this seedling, and it has some good roots on it. You can see the roots. And I'm going to put it down into my little hole that I've made. And I'm going to stand it up. And you see that this seedling is still standing above the rim of the pot. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill it in. And you have to be really careful when you're filling it in, because you realize that your seedling stem is not that strong. But tomatoes are heavy feeders, and I think that this one will bounce back. I'm going to take good care of them, give them some fertilizer, and I've given them a stronger place to live by putting them into this larger pot. And with the soil around them, this seedling will produce roots all the way up to where the soil is touching it. And I think I may have enough room to add just a little bit more. And this is a beef steak. And what I'll be doing with these is I'll be putting them back under the grow light because it is still too cold for them to go outside. Now, in a couple of weeks, if the weather has gotten where, it's not too cold for them to go into the greenhouse, then I will take them out into the greenhouse. But for right now, with winter weather threats in the forecast, they'll be staying inside for right now. Just going back underneath the grow light where they first started getting leggy at. And those are the things that you have to kind of look forward to whenever you're growing seedlings and starting them inside of the house. But one thing that you can do to help prevent that is to get a good growth system. And I'm working on my growth system. I've got some new lights in today. And I will show them to you all. My little son set them up for me, so they are not where they're I don't know, they may be where they're going to stay. I just have to maybe move them around a little bit. But he was helping out because I was busy, so I appreciate his help. But this is another beefsteak tomato. You have to make sure that you get the soil up as close as you can to your leaves. I don't want to start pulling off any leaves just yet. You know, maybe when it grows up some, we start to taking off the bottom leaves, and we'll talk about that later. But for right now, we're going to leave all the leaves on so that we can give this plant the best chance that it can possibly have. And I planted lot of tomato plants because I want to make sure that I have enough just in case, you know, some don't make it, because you don't want to miss your window when you can get your tomatoes, because otherwise you might end up having to purchase some starts, and I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to buy any tomato starts. So that is what you do when you have seedlings that have gotten really leggy. And that means that they've just gotten tall and they've started falling over. Their stems are weak. And you want to pot them into a larger pot. And sometimes you won't have to go to a pot of this extreme. You know, it would be best if you could, you know, go to the little one. But if I go to this little one now, I'll just have to pot this up again in a week or so. And I don't want to have to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and use the larger pot. You just want to get you some soil in the bottom. Make your hole that your root is going to sit down in. And I've taken 3 of the beefsteaks, but I've noticed that I have some kind over here that is just totally laid over. And I'm going to see what it is. It's a Aunt Ruby's German green. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one out. I don't really see a whole lot of roots on there, but there's one sticking out. But as you can see, the plant's been growing, and the leaves are beginning to turn purple, so it still has life in it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just push it down a little bit, give it a good foundation, and add the soil around it. And I'm using the black gold potting mix, the organic potting mix. You don't have to use seedling mix for the plants once they've already germinated. You can move on up to another medium of potting mix. And so this one will be just fine, this black gold potting mix. And it does have some fertilizer in it already. I showed it to you when I planted up-potted the aloe vera. And as I said, these plants will produce roots. all up the stem. So this plant has a chance to get really strong. So, you know, just don't get discouraged because your seedlings get leggy. This is not the first time I had leggy seedlings, and I'm sure it will not be the last, but I don't get all upset or anything when it happens. I just go ahead, pot them up. And it's just a thing, you know, it's a trial and error that you have to do when you're gardening, because you have different situations that are going to come up. And whenever they come up, you just deal with them, you know. You don't, it's not the end of the world. You still can have some good production from your plants, even though, you know, as long as it's not dead, like they were when I came out after the Arctic storm, you still can do something with them. So don't get discouraged. And this was the Aunt Ruby's German green. And this tomato will look green after it's ripe. So this one's a new one. Aunt Ruby's German green. So we're going to go ahead and get the rest of these put back on the grow station. I think I might have a couple more that I'm going to go ahead and take out today. But I'm not going to be able to do all of them today because there's a lot of other things that I need to get done. So I just want to make sure that I showed you all who maybe have never had the experience of having some leggy seedlings, how you can save those seedlings, that you don't have to worry about them being counted out, because they're not. They can still produce. So we're going to go ahead and put these on the grow station, and I will see you in the next video. Hi guys, I'm back. I forgot to show you the grow lights. These are the grow lights that I purchased from Amazon. And I think that they'll do better because I can hang them and they can hang closer to the plants, and they have a wider stream of light. So we're going to see how these work out. All right, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.